There's one other thing that really bothers me. Annualized returns. So just for Hurley investments last week, we had 100% returns in all trades. We also annualized our first trade findings and adjustments trade, which was long puts on Boeing. Boy, love that. Long puts on Boeing. And we have the trade right here. So let's poke a little bit of fun and let's do this in jest. Taking a quick peek, then I'm going to grab a highlighter. We got into the trade at roughly 9:23. We got out at 9:55. My first question to you guys, how many minutes were we in the trade? And you can round out those minutes. Entered at 9:23. Got out at 9:55. Anybody? You guys still able to hear me? How many minutes roughly were we in the trade? 32 minutes. Perfect. I'm even go, it could be 31 and a half, 31 and 45 seconds. Let's just make it 30 minutes. Thank you, Maud. So we are in the trade for 30 minutes. Doing our simple math, we got out at 9:40. Geez. We got out of the trade at 9:45. Market order. We entered the trade at $8.20. That comes out to $1.25 of profit divided by the $8.20 equals, I'm pretty sure it's 15.14. Let's run a calculator and let's find out. Yeah, I should just be running it on here. Let's not run it any other way. Let's run a calculator right here. We're going to take $9.45 where we exited the trade, subtract out our debit of $8.20. That equals $1.25 divided by our cost basis of $8.20. 15.24% return on investment. Return on investment. Per every contract, $125, right? Not a bad trade. So anyone that had Apple, we took that Apple grouping, and if you had Apple but no Boeing, we took a profit. If you still had Boeing, we kept it in. But the short answer is 179 contracts for Apple owners made $125 per contract, or a 15.24% return. Would you like to know what that is annualized? Anyone want to know how good Hurley Investments is if we annualize the returns? There we go. Thank you. So Mary's like, I want it annualized. Yet Maud, my women here tonight, no, because it's a phony number. You are correct. So how many half hours are in there in the 7.5 hour of the, yeah. How many half hours are there in a single 7.5 hour trading day. Well, you take 7 hours because you can divide that by half, and that's 14, and you get plus the other half hour, so they're 15 half-hour increments in the trading day. So if we take 15 and multiply it by the 15.24% return on investment, your daily return, which is not bad at all, comes out to a 228.6% daily return. 228.6 times your 5 trading days. Of the week. Just multiply that times 5. Yes, we had a 1,143 weekly return on investment. You take your 1,143% weekly ROI and you multiply it by the 52 weeks, possible trading weeks in a year, and holy crap, you have a 59,436% return on investment annualized. So it's funny because Russ Kramer says, what was a canceled trade in the middle? We tried to set a close rather quickly, and they weren't registering it because we were trying to do $9.30, and we were just actually trying to get $1.10. But we couldn't get the trade registered. Boeing was falling rather quickly that day. So I finally said, "Gall, we're above our $1.25. Let's just do a market order." It got closed out at $9.45. But just to let you know, for all those people out there who love to talk about annualized returns and this and that, Bill, please send this to your brother. We last week we were at 100% closing ratio on every trade that we did, and we had one trade with an annualized return of 59,436% return in the first 2 weeks of trading, the first half of the year. So it's kind of funny because that's the funny part of this, right? I really wanted Lee Maxwell to be here tonight because he's like, Kevin, would you guys start doing a couple more spread trades in my account? Russ, it doesn't matter how often you think you can repeat this trade, because in the education and all those newsletters, this is what gets reported. And not only that, it's usually something that's happened 8 to 12 years ago. Well, we once had an annualized return of 59,436% return. Can it be repeated? No, it cannot. This is not a standard trade. This was us thinking, okay, this year we're trying to do a little bit of arbitrage. I went over this trade last week, and our comment was, hey, Boeing is really tanking. The state's going to be okay with those people who are an Apple of placing an arbitrage trade against Apple using Boeing. So we let the state know we were looking at doing things a little bit differently, being a little more aggressive. And yes, the other day, it's kind of neat. The market was down a negative 0.37, and our clientele was up a positive 0.42. So we did a really good job of being in the market, of of beating the market last week, and we beat the market last week handedly.